Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested here at Wonderfest 2025 in the amazing contest room. Now, Eric Gonzalez, pleasure to meet you. You brought many ships that you've built, models, but this is the only Starship model that's 1-to-1 scale.
That's right.
And of course, it's not painted like any full-size Starship.
No.
Tell me about this unique ship, which to me looks like the Stargazer that Picard was the captain of, right? So what is this?
So this is a replica of the Ready Room model that sat in Captain Picard's Ready Room through all 7 seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
So from Encounter at Farpoint, when he goes into the Enterprise D in his Ready Room, and these are the things that are important to him that inform you as the first time meeting Jean-Luc Picard, his character, this is a replica of that model.
Exactly.
What is the history of that model and how it was built for the show?
So they had an idea to put something in the Ready Room, kind of to give it, some character, some history. And Rick Sternbach, production designer on Next Gen, he took the opportunity to construct this ship and he had the option to either get some refit Enterprises or some TOS Enterprises. He said he went for the refit. It made more sense.
Yep.
And he bashed an older style ship in conjunction with some of Andy Probert's input on it, and came up with the prototype of the Constellation Class.
They did model making. They did kitbash model making. This is like taking Star Wars style model making and putting in Star Trek for a piece of art department, decor in the Ready Room. And you and your other model makers who've been obsessed with this version of that ship and the Stargazer, have been replicating. So this is put together with some of those original parts, is that right?
Yeah, so this is replicated the exact same way the original would have been. It's a styrene hull built up with bulkheads and flat sheets to build up this large hull.
And that's scratch done? There's no...
That's scratch built. There's no existing parts for that.
Oh,
some measurements exist among the fan communities. Bill Krause provides some of the measurements out there for everyone to use for one of his builds. And then everything else is planted on either kit pieces or styrene detailing.
Wow. And when you say kit pieces, what were some of those kits obscure or that contributed to it?
Yeah, there's 2 AMT refit kits from Star Trek 4. It's they specifically use the Star Trek 4 version.
Is it because of scaling or because of the detail work?
And that's what was available in stores at the time in 1987. But also the decals are specifically from Star Trek 4 on the nacelles here, because they had the gold arrowhead logo on Star Trek 4.
Okay, all right. So Star Trek kits for sure. Yep.
Then the remainder of it comes from, there's about 6 or 7 anime, Macross kits.
There's anime, there's mecha?
Yeah, there's
in
mecha
Star
in
Trek? Can I pick this up and can you point out some of those details?
Absolutely.
Where is their mecha?
So there's a big Crusher Joe gun up here. There is the backpack from a Valkyrie, a 1/100th Valkyrie on there.
That's this right here.
Yeah. Wow. And then if we look at the underside, probably the most famous kind of greebly on there is actually the Zabungle, which was a capsule toy. So this is a replica of it because they were extremely hard to find. I didn't locate an actual one. Everything else is original, but the Zabungle here and his backpack came from a little capsule toy available in Little Tokyo that Rick Sternbach had bought.
Oh my gosh. Wow. And it somehow fits because this additional detail fits with the story of what this ship is supposed to be, right?
Exactly.
Because this, we're telling me, this is not Stargazer.
This is not the Stargazer.
So why is it painted like this? What is this in the Star Trek lore?
So the idea was that there was a Constellation Class prototype, and during warp testing the 4 nacelle setup, they would have painted it in some kind of like a primer coat, which is this yellow, kind of like a dark sand color. And that's what I guess it allowed them to see warp drag effects or something like that on the ship.
So in the world of Star Trek, when they built their Constellation 4 nacelle prototype, there was a ship full size with this kind of copper gold paint color scheme, which we of course never saw.
Exactly.
But
never
the
saw
miniature of which is represented in the Ready Room. And Picard loved that, or was part of it, and that's why
loved his ship. So I guess he talked to one of the designers, and they got him an old concept prototype ship.
Wow. Where does that ship survive? Like where is that ship right
so
now?
as far as I know, everything that I've seen of it has been reference photos. Doug Drexler had some photos that he snapped out in like the parking lot at Paramount, I guess. But other than that, the actual miniature is kind of lost.
Okay.
Nobody really knows the location, as far as I know.
Yeah, yeah. And then in the fan community, do many people build this model? Is this?
Yeah, it's been replicated a few times, and I think a lot of people get through it, and they kind of want to put lights in it, so they drill out the windows, and they wind up doing the Stargazer or the Hathaway.
When you're like so far there and you're like, ooh, the Stargazer has seen so much. It's like you actually see it in action, then maybe that's what they gravitate toward. But you like the one-to-one. It goes in your ready room.
I grew up with Next Gen, so I would always see it in the ready room as a little kid, and I just always wanted that ship.
And the paint color, even though there is a canonical reason why Starfleet would have had a ship that color, why did Sternbach paint it that color?
So the idea behind the color scheme in real life would be it harmonized with the room. The room was all done in mauve with blue accents.
Right.
So with all those dark colors, this kind of pops. You know, and it's relegated into the background. It's kind of a slim profile, so it helped it stand out whenever you would see it.
Late 80s production design, thinking about the future, the 24th century.
Yeah.
Wow. You have some other models here I want to quickly talk about.
Sure.
I mean, this Star Trek is very clean. There's no weathering or chipping, right? But you also have something from...
this is the Buck Rogers Thunderfighter.
Yes.
And this was built for a gentleman who did a 3D printed cockpit for it. And so I incorporated his cockpit.
Oh, wow.
And then the original ship was kind of a buff color tan, but he wanted to go dark. He wanted to go different. So we did kind of a stealth fighter, P-61 night fighter look to it. And we add some lights in there.
It's because it's not. I mean, the original one is a little bit more like this color,
almost
right?
that color.
Yeah. Tell me about your weathering, your technique, your philosophy, how you do chipping, and
so there was a lot of pre-shading on there. And then since I knew it was going to be black, I never like to use a pure black. I like to sweeten it a bit. So there's some colors in there. There's some deep blues and some beige accents underneath a lot of it. And then, you have the silver trim on the wings and the nose cone and the engines back here.
I love
just
that
to get
when
them
you
to
did
stand
engines.
out.
Yeah, and everything goes in a certain direction. You're telling the story.
You kind of bring airflow, even though there's no air in space. But we're trying to show something, and then there's a lot of dimensional streaking around the tubes.
And your chipping, is that all done before or after?
This is all done after, so it was all painted black, and then all the chipping was done with a brush and silver paint.
Is there a specific brush you use to try to get the kind of jagged chipping lines, or?
I use a fine brush, but not too fine. The paint will dry on it, so you want to keep it wet, so you kind of use a fat brush and just keep it as pointy as possible.
That's the hard part for me. Like, mine ends up being globular, right? But you have these nice sharp edges on your chip lines. Really cool to see. It looks like it's paint chipped off.
Yeah, that was the whole goal.
Wow, well done, Eric. Really cool scale model, 1-to-1 replica. And hope you had a great Wonderfest so far.
I did. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, and folks can find out more information from the group. There's a community.
Yeah,
if they want to build this
most of my
too.
Progress on this was in the Star Trek Modelers group on Facebook. Starship Modeler. There's and Replica Prop Forum has great threads on this too.
Awesome. We'll link to those in the description below. It's great to meet you.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you we have some excellent merch. We have a 5-pack of demerit badges for sale right now at tested/store.com. We've got the I hung it off of level demerit badge, the I built the chair backwards demerit badge, the I hit my thumb with a hammer demerit badge. We've got the stapler in my finger demerit badge, and my favorite, I stuck the duct tape to itself demerit badge. Get yours now, tested/store.store. Tested-store. Tested. It's right here. There. Just click there.